This is my review on The Hunger Games from 2012, the first installment in the franchise. And this is based on a book, and like most books adaptation, almost every book adaptation, like every true story adaptation, it sucks. This movie does. Book is good, makes sense. This does not. This movie's poorly written, and it feels like a rush job, and I feel like you're supposed to care about the main character just because it's based off of the book called The Hunger Games with the same title, even though it's not really enough reason to care about the main character, or because we barely got to know her. We only spent a few minutes on screen time with her, and instantly she's now in the Hunger Games. Game of her life to make sure she doesn't die. That's the goal. So, make sure she's the last one standing. So, that's the Hunger Games. And, yeah, there's so many things that doesn't make sense, like, about, like, we don't understand, we don't, like, for what so many things with this movie needs is, like, we need to see the character struggle and overcome her flaws, and we need to understand the character's motivation, the main character, while making a compelling story that has a narrative, and has a character arc for the character to go through some sort of change. And while having not a non-bloated, convoluted story, but a flawed narrative story. This has none of that, but the book has that. The first book that's based on. I'm not going to act like I looked at the book first. I actually looked at the book second. Just to see how much they fucked up. And how bad it is. And I found out, oh crap, the book is actually good. And the movie, it's not like it's taking inspiration from the book, but it's mostly using the book as a crutch, as a marketing standpoint, just to make people off money off of people because it's a popular brand. I did hear the book before the movie came out. I never read it. Then I looked at the book, and then I found out did some research on the book. Wanted to do some digging on the book series, and I found out. Yeah, there was actually world building also in the book, the first book. This is no world building. It just expects you to not question anything. Maybe I could do that if the shaky cam wasn't so off and nightmare fueling the amounts of shaky cam it is in this movie, but it's everywhere. It's even worse the shaky cams in the Bourne movies had it. Even the last one. Oh, this is probably the worst shaky cam I've ever seen in a movie. It's like it's like the creators of the film never ever heard of a tripod. So they decide to hold every shot in a handheld shot, and they can't hold the camera steady. This was making me disoriented and dizzy, and it's a nightmare. And I guess she's sacrificing herself for her younger sister. And in the movie, it's like, you know, her and the sister barely get developed in this one and in the entire franchise before they kill. They barely get developed together. Her and her sister before they kill off in the last one of the last story of the last one, which was part two of the last movie, and which is a really bad thing because in the book series, everyone who like multiple it's like multiple books he had of this, and you can tell that the sister was an important character of the narrative of the story in the book series. But here she's this well squat. She's squat. She's nothing basically except for the audience that read the book say, hey, look, we can look at that character we saw in the book, that we read about in the book. Hey, look, we saw that part in the book, but there's no structure to the story. There's no meaning, there's no purpose to the story. It's like this bad fan stuff, the worst kind. These films have, you know? And yeah, she saves the kid's life by making a sacrifice or something, by convincing this kid that becomes, I guess, her love interest. But then by sequel, they become friends that hate each other, can't stand each other. In the sequel, for some reason, unexplained reason, and they win the competition together by praying to take their own lives willingly. So the guy stops and then he has to take a bunch of bullets in his life because he's fired, I guess, you know, from being one of the judges. I guess it's not, and you don't see in the sequel or any of the other ones, so. And he takes his life by eating blueberries, the poison blueberries, and yeah, and oh, Katniss saves some sort of random girl, in the Hunger Games and let her live. Yeah, so this gets 0 out of 10. So now I'm going to talk about Catching Fire, called Hunger Games Catching Fire, the sequel. And remember that all the stuff I said that happens that I said at the end of the last review, like the girl getting saved, and also them having they basically can't stand each other. Well, that takes place in the sequel, including the girl that's now whining to. Oh my god, it's like. So, Peter and Katniss only pretend to like each other and that they can stand each other, even though they're living together. They only pretend to like each other still, even though they can't see each other anymore, just because publicity and whenever the cameras are on. And everyone else, for some reason, can't stand Katniss. I guess. Hard stuff is everyone's like a. It's just, it's up this, I guess, or has a bittersweet feeling, so it's Katniss, I guess. Except Woody Harrelson, he's the one that likes Katniss. I guess. But she doesn't trust him anymore, unlike the first one. where we saw them on different relationship sites for some reason. It's not really clear why, and none of us gets answered, and none of it gets answered why the girl she said in the first one is now whining and clinging to Katniss. Tell me by telling Katniss and begging because she wants the answer that Katniss can't give her. Because she doesn't want to accept the answer. The only reason why Katniss saved her is to live, not for any higher purpose. And Katniss keeps on telling her and telling her and telling her. And she's just not fucking listening because she's a fucking screwed in the head, I guess. Screwed in the head because she wants to believe that she's more important than to Katniss than she is. More, but in reality, she's less important to Katniss than she wants to believe. Anyways, so we have is hinting at that this game, like what that they played last time, was child's play, rookie play, as in it was the easy version of the game. Now this is the real deal game. And seeing all these events planned and say, these don't look that much harder than the last game. I mean, yeah, it's more high-tech and technology, but, what do you expect for people who haven't played the game in a while? That have aged up since last time. That are now in the game again. So, she has a new ragtag of team, which I'm going to call this mystery gang, the Scooby Gang. I said, one's a science geek, but also talks like a creepy pedophile. He's the only black guy in the group that's weird. And another one's really athletic and fast and blah blah blah. It's like and other stuff is Candace is the old pep talk character. Everyone will believe and blindly fall into a pit of acid and then their lives in. As in the Messiah figure of the group. And also the entire world that has ever watched the Hunger Games. The Messiah is Katniss. Oh, that's too funny. And Katniss makes some very, very, very stupid decisions with her group. And gets more than half of them slaughtered. Like lambs to the slaughter. And she accidentally keeps on getting them killed. In more than half of the other team haven't really died yet. In fact, her group's losing badly. It's actually kind of funny how poor leader Skip Shilsko she has. It's like amazing, a good leader should know when it's time to call it quits and put a different person in charge. She's never done that yet. She just says, hey, who wants to be leader now? I suck at this. And, yeah, it's like one of those things. And, this leads to, shooting an arrow at the dome that's sort of like a force field that also creates these optical illusion, smoke and mirror stuff with technology. to save her team's life, and somehow that works, but then somehow that doesn't work exactly like she was hoping to. Because Woody Harrelson kind of outsmarted her and betrayed her, I guess, somehow, by saving the team, but also faking everyone's death, in the public eye, and somehow, and Katniss is pissed about it for some reason, and they left Peter behind. Katniss' ex-boyfriend that was her boyfriend in the public eye, but really can't stand each other. Now is all hot for Peter now. And it ends on that abrupt note. These movies suck. I give both The Hunger Games a 0 out of 10. And The Hunger Games Catching Fire a 0 out of 10. Bye.